Hey guys, so I got a problem with my iPad. Now this iPad I don't use very much. I let my grandson use it. But lately it's been having an issue. Go ahead and turn it on. And it says up here it's got 100%. But after about a few minutes of use, it just dies. And I can't turn it back on. And if I go plug it in, it'll come up here. Actually, it won't even bring up a screen. It'll just bring up the battery with the cable telling you it needs charging. What I understand is that means I got a bad battery. So we're going to try to go ahead and replace the battery. Now, before you do something like this, first of all, just make sure you got confidence in doing it. You do take a chance of breaking the screen, the battery catching on fire, and a whole lot of things can go wrong. It's not that difficult if you have the right tools. And I'll go through a list of things that you should get. But if you don't have the right tools, it can be extremely difficult. The first place you want to go, for me, is iFixit.com. That's where I go to get anything that has to do with electronics, phones, tablets, because they pretty much carry every part you would need, and they also carry the tools that you would need to get the job done, get it done right. They have a very detailed video and pictures and description of what to do for each step. And they tell you exactly what tools you should get. They give you like a breakdown of tools that are highly recommended to get the job done. And then some tools that they recommend that make the job easier. I'll give you an example. This is a spudger. That's what they call it. It's got like a flat edge on one and a point on the other. And this helps get underneath the screen so that you can detach it from the adhesive. Then they have this one, which is, I can't remember the name of it. It's a spudger also, but it has another name to it. But it has a nice, like a knife edge on it. And it makes it a lot easier to get in. And it has this little hook so you can get a hold of cables or anything or adhesive that you can grab hold of a lot easier. So they also have something like this. This is designed for the battery, especially for this one. Now you can cut a plain card, but this one, which I'll show you, it makes it a lot easier to separate the battery connection and stop the battery from being connected to the main board. You should have a pair of tweezers. This is so you can get a hold of any cables or to get in and get any adhesive out. Phillips head screwdriver. I don't remember what size it is, but in the if you go into iFixit.com, they specifically sell it and they tell you what size you should have. Now these are they call it Tessa tape, but it's an adhesive tape that's meant to replace like tapes that are under the battery, because when we go in to remove the battery, there are some strips of adhesive that we have to pull out to get the battery detached from the frame of the tablet. I have these. I bought these with another project. These are really nice to have. The only thing you got to be careful with these is it can really gouge up the case for the tablet or phone if you're doing a phone. But it does help you get in to separate. You have these like guitar picks. These are really good to separate. Once you get the screen separated from the adhesive, you put these in to keep it separated so it doesn't fall back on the adhesive. And then you have these cards. I have this little rubber band around them. And I've got, after a couple of repairs, I've got 4 of them. And these are the same thing. You can use them to separate adhesive or to slide in and keep the adhesive separated so it doesn't reattach. Now, something that's really recommended for this, unless you have a like a hot plate or something like that that you can set the tablet on and it heats up the adhesive all at once, iFixit has this, which is called the eye opener, which really works good. You stick this in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then you would sit it, like we're going to sit it right on the side edge here, and we're going to let it sit for like 2 minutes to really get in and warm up those adhesive strips so that we can separate it. Now, a lot of times you can get little suction cups to pull up on the screen. The only thing that I don't like about the suction cups is there's no way to hold it while you're trying to pull up on the screen. That's why iFixit has this. And so I love this. What this does is allow you to separate after you've heated up the screen. We're going to get a book. I have to find a book that's got to lift it up so it will sit up here. And then we'll bring it down right on top, squeeze it together, and then you lock it. And then you start cranking it a couple of turns to start separating the screen. Now, right now, I don't have it ready because when you do this, this comes with 2 packs of tape, but you can use regular packing tape because that suction cup has a hard time sticking to this rough surface on the back here. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to use packing tape. It's a little pull piece of packing tape that's about this long. I'm going to put it right on this edge. And I'm gonna fold over this so that I can have something to grab hold of. Well, and try not to, try to keep it nice. Try to keep the air bubbles out. And then we're gonna fold over this edge. And it comes off pretty easy. There we go. So now we have a nice smooth edge for that suction cup to get a hold of. Should be just big enough for the suction cup. Now I have a screen protector on here. I'm going to take it off because even though it's glass, it could pop off of the screen. So I'm just going to reach under. And I think I should have a new one. And pull it on up. Just like that. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain it, keep it clean, but we'll give it a try. But now I have a nice clean glass screen for that suction cup to get a hold of. The first side we're going to work on is the side, if you have the push button, the home button right here. to your right. We're going to work on that side. What you got to be careful with is the adhesive strip is only like 2 millimeters in on this edge. 2 millimeters on this edge. And then there's a, there's a fat strip over here. That's probably about a 1/2 inch, and a fat strip. Let me see if I can bring this down just a little bit more. Fat strip here and a fat strip here. That's about a 1/2 inch. What that means is when you use these picks and you start going in to separate the screen from the frame, you only want to go in a couple of millimeters. Some of these picks, it really depends on who you buy them from. I don't know if any of mine have it. No. Whoops. Some of them have a really small flat surface that's really thin on the edge and then thick in the middle. Kind of helps you keep from going in too far. But all we have to do is maintain 2 millimeters would be like from this edge. If you stick a flat edge, like if I use this, and if I stick a flat edge to those corners. So if I stick this in the edge, evenly straight across to those corners, I should be in about 2 millimeters. If you look with a ruler, 2 millimeters is about that much. So it's not very much at all. But what we want to do is we want to separate the adhesive without taking any risk of hitting any of the ribbon cables and connectors that are along this edge and along this edge and up in the top. When this gets separated, there is a 2 connectors that come from the screen that go about right here. So we have to be careful. Once we do separate it and lift it, we have to shift the screen towards the home screen, probably about maybe 2 inches. And then we can lift it up, and we're going to use some like painter's tape to hold it in place while we remove some parts and just get the cables disconnected. And that way we won't have to worry about breaking any of those ribbon cables. Those are really fragile. So the first thing I got to do is I got to heat this up. It'll take, all I do is stick this in the microwave for 30 seconds. All right, be careful. It's hot. Stick it in. Stick it right on this edge. We're going to stick it there for about 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes is up. Take this off. Put this up under here. And then what you do is push it forward to lock it. And we should be able to start. Okay, it's not. Oh, come on. See if we're getting it. All right, you can see how it's come up. We're gonna remember 2 millimeters. I'm gonna kind of slowly slice down here. I'm gonna put one in here. And I'm gonna bring this down. Because I gotta be careful and make sure it stays in there. Now pop this open. Get this one off here. I'll come down here. So what I found was an easy way to do this. Watch out for this right here. Pull that tight. Oh, come on. There we go. Now what I've been doing is take this, stick it inside this opening while it has pressure on it. And this is still hot. All right, so I got this whole side up. Now what I'm doing is going to heat this bottom one up. Yeah, we're gonna go this next. And when we do this, we just have to be careful. We only need to go from this side and this side of the front-facing camera. We want to be careful not to push in where that camera is. The adhesive is on this side and on this side. But got to heat this guy up again. So as you start moving around, you can lay this eye opener like before where you're going next, and you want to just keep heating up the adhesive as you walk around, and just be very patient. It'll come. It's just going to take time. You try to do it too fast, try to rush it, you'll end up snapping the screen. All right, so now I'm working around this edge where the home button is. Heating it up, bringing this down, and you got to be really careful right by the home button. You have an adhesive just like the top. You can go in up to a 1/2 inch here on either side, and then we're going to go down here. I think I got this little corner left. I think it's cold. I gotta heat it up. All right. So now I got them separated all the way around. You want to take one of these spudgers, or this one here with the nice little blade on it, and you want to make sure that you have separated the tape all the way around. lift it. Now we have to get all these out the way. So we have to go towards the camera, just like this. Then we can lift it up. Like this. So now you can see the two ribbon cables. So what iFixit says to do is to take some packing tape, take a long strip, tape to the back of the iPad, and then lift this. And what this does is prise and holds it, and then take another piece. This is just for security. And put it like that. So I got a piece right here to hold it. That keeps it from sliding that way, and this one here holds it while it's pried up. Because now there are, if I can get a flashlight. So you have this plate here that has to come up, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. If I were you or anybody, I would make yourself or have something to hold screws and actually hold them in order so you know which is which. So these are just Phillip head screws. There are 8 1.2 millimeter screws and 1 2.4 millimeter screws. I think this is the 2.4 millimeter. So let's take those screws out. Here's the, underneath that cover, here's the 2 connectors. I think you can see that. And all you do is just get this spudger here and just get up underneath it and just pop them up. One there. And one there. Now, I can save myself and take the screen off. There we go, screen's off. Now we're gonna have to go through the entire screen and clean off all this adhesive. Because we'll have to put the new adhesive on. All right. So the iFixit instructions just says there are 8 screws. 2 of the screws, it looks like, that's why I'm having trouble, are underneath these little foam, these little cushions. If you take one over on the edge, there's a screw up underneath there. Come on. I don't think there's one in the middle. No, but I bet you there's one over here. Come on, get up off of there. Yeah, sure enough, you just peel that up. It's an adhesive. Peel that up. And so there is 8 screws, 4 here, 1 here, and then there's 2 here underneath this little ribbon. On the instructions from iFixit, they don't have that. So now you should be able to lift this up. There we go. So this has like little metal teeth, and you got to kind of wiggle back and forth. It's not coming up like it should. It's coming, but you got to get up under here and pry it up. And get up under here, pry it up. Well, like a pain in the booty. There it goes. It looks like the end is just with some adhesive. Come on. There it goes. It's got little adhesive all the way around. So I'm just gonna, so you got all this little adhesive strips. I'm gonna try to focus on putting this back where it belongs. Try to bend this. It's pretty flimsy. Set that aside. Now, while lifting that, I'm just gonna set this over here. Gotta be careful. This is the battery connector right here. So we need to disconnect the antenna connectors. There's 2 antenna connectors, and peel the cable back to here. And then we need to disconnect the battery connector. And that's what this is for. Once the battery connector is disconnected, you slide this in, and that keeps the battery. That keeps the battery from reconnecting. And then you got this one here. Holding that one in. Remember, if you lift up on it, being careful, pull it slowly, and then that way you can do that. And then you got this one. Same way, being careful not to separate the adhesive. You got to be careful because the battery has a adhesive strip. Here we go. Now, this thing, this main board here, it also has some adhesive. So we gotta try to bring this up. Using a spudger. There's a little bit of adhesive underneath it. I don't think there's a... So you want to take, when you pull this board up, there's a ribbon cable right here. You want to take this board and you want to flip it towards that ribbon cable. So we just lift it up and it comes all the way up to here. I'm just trying to get something to keep it. I think this goes. So when you lift up on that where the battery connector is, that's where this goes in. And you just slide it right in that place. Now this thing is completely disconnected. So there is a metal bar right here with 3 screws. Take all 3 of them screws out. All right, that bar should pop right out now. There you go. Take that out. Now, you have a couple connectors. You have a connector here. Let me see it. And it just, you just take it and it just pops straight up. Keeping the board down. There you go. And then there's another connector over on this side, right here. That also pops straight up. Man, tiny connector. I think there's a piece of tape over it. Okay. Just going to attach the tape back to it. You got another connector here, this flat connector, and then another antenna right here. I think that might be the cell antenna. Actually, I think there's 2 of them. And that just folds up Don't try to pull it up. Then we got these cell antenna. 1, 2. I think they're the cell. I'm not really sure. Now, once you get that, once you get all those off, you should be able to pry this up. And now you can lay it back, but don't try to push it too hard. Now, the battery. You'll see underneath the battery. I don't want to try and tilt it up because I don't want to mess this up. But you'll see these square black, you know, here's one here, here's one here with a dot or with a hole in it. Those are the adhesive strips that go here. There's also adhesive strips here and here that we'll get later. But first, you want to get those, pull them up, and then you want to pull them away from where they're at. You want to pull it straight. Oh, unless that crap happens, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it because it shrinks. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. I got it. And then pull it straight out. It'll come out, just pull it slow. Try not to do what I just did by holding it by the by that black tab, because that just tears off. Just keep pulling it. And it comes completely out. You do not want to pry up on the battery. These are lithium batteries, and that can damage them and cause a fire. So now I got another one. Now the battery should lift up pretty easy. Yeah, there's a little bit of adhesive, but now what we got to do is you can get some dental floss. Get some dental floss, get it up under the battery. There's something under here. I must have missed a piece. Yeah, I did. Looks like I missed a piece. Just wiggle it back and forth. There we go. Come on, get up under there. There we go. Now there's a pretty big piece of adhesive back here, and we just want to, you got to be careful because there's an end piece. There it goes. I think I should being careful. We don't want to bend the battery. There we go. That's one. Yeah, there was a little piece of adhesive. All right. That keeps that from staying. careful. Okay. And we should add just a little bit of adhesive on this. And there we go. The battery's done. I'm just going to flip it over like this and then stick it together. I'll take it to a battery recycling place. So now I have a new battery. All right, so the battery comes like this. We're going to peel this off. All right, so you have a battery post right here. So we peeled this off. To line this up, we need to make sure that we line this post with where our battery connector is. This is before we put it down. So we line up that battery post just like that. Gotta be careful because it's got the this one. I'm going to make sure we have that lined up. Peel that off because this doesn't want to line up. Okay, it just looks like there's some extra material on the edge of the battery here. Oh, there it goes. You might want to, on this edge that has the battery post, kind of tuck it under this lip while you line up the battery post. So it kind of goes under this edge. Okay, that's all lined up. So now we start reassembling. Bring this down, make sure you get this connector out the way. And then you got this connector right here that's in the way. You got posts that you got to watch out for. And I got the put this in place because you don't want the battery reconnecting, at least not yet. Got the forward camera. Move this out the way. Kind of get everything out the way. Now watch out for them antenna connectors. There she goes. Had that in place. Let's bring this antenna connector down. That's back on. Let's get this connector on. This connector on. Then we got this connector. And this just, it goes right into the spot. I think a smudger would be better for this. And then I got this little piece of adhesive. Cover that up. And I got another connector. Okay. Now I got the two cell antennas. Got it. Whew. All right, that's all on. All the connectors are on. Don't forget the screw for the battery connector. Okay, so now I got this. All right, now everything's back together but the top. I got 3 screws left, and that's for the cover. This right here. It's going to cover the connector for the screen. What we got to do now is we got to clean everything. So we have to get all this adhesive up and off. And there's a lot of adhesive. Yeah, this is the right side. Okay. Okay, now we have to do this part in reverse. I've got, you see I got the adhesive on. It's got these little blue tabs. That's just to have it ready. And then, so now I'm going to place this where I had it before. I'm going to pull these. Whoop, no. What in the fuck is wrong with it? There we go. Okay. Now the adhesive is ready to roll. So we're going to put this just like this. Oops. Yep. Put my tape back where I had it. And then go ahead and connect my, well, I need a little more room. I'm not about right there. I need some light. Got one here. I think I need to come back just a little. There we go. I missed video on it, but now pull this off. Take this tape off. I accidentally put the tape on the adhesive strip. There we go. Now, you bring it down and you line it up. I don't know how I did that. I must have scratched the paint on here somehow. Get it on there. Now what we can do is go ahead and power it up and make sure that we have where the hell's the connector? Here it is. Hey! Somehow I managed to scratch the inside. I'm not sure how I did that, but that's all right. It's old enough. There we go. Touchscreen works. Screen works. And it says it's at 41%. Of course, I don't have a sim in this anyhow. But now what I'm going to do, I can peel this tape off the back. So now all I got to do now is set some books on it overnight. So the adhesive will be nice and tight. And then charge it. That's it. You have any questions? Hit me up. Get everything at fixit.com, ifixit.com, even the tools. And I'll talk to y'all later and subscribe.